Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to my 8th New Era hat video collection. Once again, Dre here, repping the New Era hoodie as always. And I got two new hot joints to feature today in this video. So let's just get straight into it because you know how my other 7 videos are. So no need to really explain what I'm about to do because you already know. So I'll start with the first one. Once again, like I told you, I got a bunch of different socks, hats, and many different styles and variations of colors and patterns. So I know if you've watched some of my other videos, you've seen quite a few sock sets already. So this is just another one to add to that. This one is an interesting variation. It's a black here with the socks in yellow outlined by in gray, and then there's a gray kind of top brim, and the bottom it's a yellow. Side is the New Era logo as always, and then on the back it's like all 3 colors fused together: the yellow, the gray, and the black. So this one is an interesting hat. I've actually worn this probably twice. It's an interesting hat because, you know, these are just 3 colors you just hardly ever see blended together. So when this happened, I was just like, wow. I remember my manager gave this to me just because he knew I like these weird, interesting color mixes on hats. So he saw this and he gave it to me. And as you see, I got the gray button on the top. But it's a really cool hat, man. I mean, like I said, once again, if you're into like unique colors or rare colors or just weird, funky color blends, this is definitely a pickup to get. Obviously, being a Sox fan, this was a no-brainer for me. My favorite team is on here. But just the 3 colors, I mean, the gray, a black, and yellow, you don't see those color mixtures anywhere. I mean, clothes. I mean, you hardly ever see these 3 colors together. So to blend them on such a small canvas, but make it look nice, nonetheless, is just very exceptional, I thought, and definitely another rare pickup. I'm not even sure where he got this hat from, so I can't even tell you where to go get it. I'm sure New Era doesn't have this hat probably anymore. Like I said, I got this about 4 years ago, but it was cool when I got it. It's definitely one of the more rare New Era hats that I do have in my collection, especially as far as sock hats. And this here is just unique. Like I said, the gray underbrim. The yellow underbrim, the gray top brim, the black. I mean, it's just very unique hat. You probably won't see anyone wear this other than me. If you do, then shake their hand and tell them congrats on the hat. But this is definitely a rare pickup. Once again, if you're into picking up rare hats, man, pick up this hat if you can find it or anything similar to this, because these are very hot in the streets, but they're very hard to find. And I was just lucky and fortunate to be able to get my hands on this here. So definitely one of the more rare sock hats I have in my collection, but nonetheless, very cool color mixture and a very cool color blend. Now, this next hat, before I bring it out, I just want to say salute to all the armed forces, the Navy, the troops, the U.S. Reserves, everyone out there that's fighting to keep our country safe from harm and fighting to keep our borders protected. I salute you. Thank you for your service. I appreciate it. And I admire the day in and day out work you do every day just to keep our nation safe. The reason why I threw that out there is because this next hat was more of a tribute and more of a remembrance of a certain NFL player that played for the Arizona Cardinals, and you probably are getting an idea who I'm talking about, that left to join to fight for the country in the U.S., I believe Army or Navy, I don't remember which group, but he left to fight for our country in the armed forces, and sadly he was killed in battle. They say by his own man. They say it was an accidental shooting by one of his own members of his group, but nonetheless, he passed away doing service for our country. So his name, if you haven't figured out now, is Pat Tillman. He played for the Arizona Cardinals, number 40. And I just wanted to say, to all those fans out there who are Pat Tillman fans and any family members that's watching this, he was a great football player. And, thank him if he can hear us for your service, Pat. We really appreciate it. We miss you. The NFL misses you. And we'll never forget you. And I know New Era wanted to show their remembrance and their thank you for your service by doing this hat here, which is the Pat Tillman. He wore number 42, not 40. He wore number 42, excuse me. Pat Tillman hat for the services. I believe he went to Arizona State, I believe, and that's why you see the AS there. And this is his hat from during the time he had played there. And on the back, you should see is the PT for Pat Tillman, his initials on the back. And these were the colors there. So He wore 42 Arizona State. He may have wore 40 with the Cardinals. I'm not quite sure. You can correct me on that one, but I know he wore 42 at Arizona State, I believe. And this is the number here, just commemorating that number. And his signature, as you can see close, is on the written on the number. So this is more of a new era remembrance hat to him for his service to the country as well as his football career. So they kind of commemorated it all on one hat. And once again, obviously the New Era logo's here. Obviously the PT's there for his initials, the number, and his signature, and the school the school logo. So this is a hat I really try to take good care of. I wore it a couple times because it's a remembrance hat. It's a very cool memorabilia, and it's just kind of like a thank you for your service and for what he did for the country. So this is New Era's way of kind of thanking him and showing that they'll never forget him by coming up with this cool hat for Pat Tillman. And it's one of the few ones obviously to pick up. They only did one box of these, so not a lot of people have this hat out there, on the streets. And so I had to definitely get my hands on this because I was very familiar with who he were. I watch football. I'm not like the huge football fan, but I do have quite a bit of football hats. You see my Bears hat in my last video, so I do have my share of football hats, and I do watch football. But I was familiar with who he was, excuse me, and I just thought I had to get this hat to be a part of that remembrance and commemorating group that just wanted to say thanks. So this is my Pat Tillman hat here. If you can find this one, definitely if you're a Pat Tillman fan or Arizona State fan or Cardinals fan, or just just a person that wanted just to show their thanks for a particular person or anyone that fought in the service that may have lost their life. This is a great way to do that. So this is my Pat Tillman hat. Once again, just to kind of wrap things up, you got that, and then you got my cool exclusive socks hat. So make sure you, if you can get your hands on either one of these two, or any New Era hat, definitely do so. I'll put the New Era link in the bio, so that way if you want to just kind of go there to see what they got and buy something, it'll be right there. Once again, obviously the New Era hoodies always with the motto "Fly Your Own Flag." Stay cool, my friends. Once again, thank you for the service for the troops out there, and we'll continue to pray for you. Thank you. Have a great day.